stuff. First, oh, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Formers Friday. I'm Dirt. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Takara Tomy Encore release of G1 Ratchet. Really looking forward to this. So let's hop in the photo tent here, take a look. You can see this is an unopened, still mint in box. Tape is still secure on there. Re-release Encore of Ratchet. We're going to rip this sucker open, take a look at it today. It's a little smaller than I thought it was going to be, but, you know, I mean, that's fine. It is what it is. And you can see on here, it's obviously that, you know, G1 styled box, but of course it is the Encore edition. It's all in Japanese, so I really have no idea what it's saying, but we do have the Optimus Prime with the somewhat reptilian eyes. I don't know what you'd call that, with that weird stuff in there. But anyway, boxes, everything you would expect in the Transformers box. Nothing too incredibly special as far as that goes. So just your basic information on the package, showing him in his alt mode and also in his robot mode. And of course, Ratchet does break apart into two different pieces here. So you've got the robot mode, and then you've got this funky little pod thing. I don't know what you call that, but anyway. All right, so then we have Ratchet, little ambulance in there, and we'll go ahead and see if I can get this with my thumbnail here. Ooh, sometimes I get weird little paper cuts under my thumbs because I'm always opening the boxes this way. Man, this has never been opened. Now I know why. All right, now this is showing some little piece here. We'll get back to that in a minute. All right. When we open the box, we've got, okay, empty box. Set that aside. We've got our little information packet here. That's got our stickers, got some advertisement information. We've got some sort of little trading card in there, but then we also have the instructions. And those instructions are going to be key. Because as you all know, I am terrible at transforming stuff, even when there are instructions. It's difficult for me to do it because I am just pretty awful when it comes to that. So we've got our instructions here. Shows us where we can put all of our stickers on there. I'm not sure if I'm not gonna put them all on for this video. Well, I might. I don't know. I haven't decided. Probably will. And then we've got our big guy himself in his little plastic thing here, his little plastic coffin. We rip this tape, dump everything out. That's how you do it. We've got a little red plug of some kind. I'm sure we'll find a use for that. We've got this gun, almost like a clock hand type thing. And then we've got our shooty missiles on our sprue. So we'll get back to those in a minute. First, let's take a look here. This is, of course, the alt mode of Ratchet. And you can see, kind of weird that he's got these little holes there. Part of the process, looks like there's a metal bar in there, so part of that piecing him together. But as a vehicle, there were versions, I've seen G1 of these that had the Swiss cross, the red cross across the top and on the sides, the international symbol for it being an ambulance. You can see that it does not, for those of us who live in the United States, this does not look like a type of ambulance that we're all that familiar with, but it does follow the Japanese and somewhat European style of how they do it. And you can see the stuff on the inside. I'm glad they have clear windows, but it's kind of funky when you look on the inside and you can see especially like tank treads through the window. Just a little weird when you see that. But it does have rubber tires. These are actual rubber tires on there. And you can see all this chromey stuff on there. Chromey chrome whatevers. We've got our symbol here. Our Autobot symbol. That comes in with the heat from our fingers. A good way to get thumbprints all over everything. But you do have actual clear glass, or clear glass, plastic being the glass, around there. These front windows are open though. So I guess it must be a cool enough day that they don't need the AC or the heat on, so they can have the windows down. But otherwise, pretty plain looking. And of course, a lot of color and stuff is going to come in from putting the actual stickers on there. But you can see that the ambulance by itself, it looks pretty good. You always have a few problems when you transform these pieces. Like for instance here, most of these are white pieces, but then right here there's a red piece right in the middle that they painted, part of it white, and so it kind of stands out, and it doesn't quite fit flush perfectly along there, but otherwise it conveys the idea of what it's supposed to be just fine. It is kind of weird that these metal parts here stick out at the bottom, and if you look, they stick almost as far as the tires. They're just a tiny bit recessed back, but if you're on a softer surface, you're actually going to rub a little bit as they sink into the ground. On a hard surface, you're probably okay. It does roll, but because of this, there's padding underneath this bottom drop piece here, and so it does rub on that a little, that you can hear. But otherwise, the tires move and roll on there fine, and almost looks like he's some kind of combiner because he's got that huge spot in the back. I guess if the guy doesn't make it, if he dies on the way to the hospital, they can just drop him out the chute, and then too bad for him. Sucks that he died. So I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit. And, or actually quite a bit, so you can get a good idea of how he looks here just on the ground, and he does roll okay. Pretty nice looking. I do like the translucent red that they use on the lights on the top. I mean, obviously it doesn't actually light up, it doesn't actually flash or do anything like that, but it is nice that it's at least clear, so the light can move through it, and it does look, like a real one is going to look, with having the lights on the inside that are going to light it up. The Autobot symbol being really big on there is kind of funky. Again, if you're a robot in disguise and you're trying to hide, the last thing you want is probably a giant robot affiliation sticker on you, but nonetheless, there it is. I understand why it's there, but just seems kind of weird that it's right there in top on the front, as opposed to being, like maybe back here or on the side somewhere, or even, right in the middle. I've seen a lot of times they've printed them right there, just kind of funky, but nonetheless, there you go. He looks pretty good. And so I'm happy as far as that goes. Okay, easy enough. All right, so now, thanks to the wonderful world of video editing, we're going to take this guy and have him transform. And normally I'd kind of do that thing where I throw it up in the air and then catch it, but he does transform into two different pieces, and I don't want to drop pieces, throwing them in the air trying to catch them. So instead, let's just go take a look at his robot form. Okay, now here's the first part of his transformation, and this is the back carrier piece of the ambulance that turns into this little kind of funky command center. Now, one thing to note is that this was actually created for the Diaclone line from Takara Tomy before it became a Transformer. And so you can see right here there's a little black chair. And that little chair is where you would put the little person, the little pilot, in there. And the idea would be that he would be controlling this little battle command unit. And then his partner would actually be piloting the mech that the other part turns into. But because he becomes a Transformer, Transformers can now think and act on their own, and as part of the Transformers line, this is just another kind of battle station, kind of like with Optimus Prime. You've got just something extra that can be used for, either the robots to climb onto and attack with, or even to think on its own, kind of like Scout. That's inside Optimus Prime. This could crawl around on its own and attack things and defend things and whatever. Now, the little plug that was in the accessory pack actually plugs in there, and then you take this, funky looking gun thing, whatever, and you attach it on here, and I guess you would spin it around however you wanted to shoot. Long range sniper shot, I don't know, and then maybe a closer range blast. Anyway, it does have the ability to do that. That's where that sticks on. And then our missiles actually spring-loaded in here, and you can shoot the missile out. So that's actually, I love when they have stuff like this, interactive stuff where you can fire it off. That to me just adds a whole world of fun, especially when I was a little kid. But even now as a grown-up, I like to play with my toys a lot of times. Now here's the weird thing. The funky placement of the Autobot symbol. I said it looked really weird being on the front and the top of the ambulance. It didn't make a lot of sense to me why it was stuck up there. But I thought to myself, maybe when he's transformed, then it's got some sort of place. Well, it's not. It's just back here. And it's even sideways back here. So I have no idea why they wouldn't take it and, stick it here. That way you would see it when he's transformed, but you would also see it in his alt mode. Even back here. If they were to put it here, this is the back of the ambulance. It'd be right there in the middle, facing the back. And then when he transforms, it'd be right here in front, facing the front of this little, command module, whatever this is. So I really don't know what the reasoning is for throwing it there, other than maybe they just didn't have anything better in mind at the time. I'm not really sure. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put the stickers on, because I like putting the stickers on. I think they look nice. So we are going to use, once again, the magic of video editing, and we're going to go inside and see how it looks with stickers. All right, now we've got all our stickers on here, except for two. It has these two stickers here, and it shows in the instructions that they're supposed to go somewhere down here at the base of the gun thing, which would put them somewhere on here, except there's not really a space for them to fit there. They're too wide to go into this space, so I don't know. They're only supposed to fit somewhere right in here, and they don't quite fit there without going over the edge. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with those. So some stickers there, but a few things to take note of. We've got some, kind of like, once again with Optimus Prime, we've got some command computer stuff that they throw in there. We've got some extra little computer bits down here just to make it look a little more electronic. Stripe up here at the top. But the main thing was, if you remember when I was talking about this symbol and trying to figure out why it had such weird placement, and wouldn't it look a whole lot better if it went right here? One of the extra stickers actually goes right there. Now, still, I would prefer if this one was actually down here instead, and I could throw one of those up there if I wanted to, or throw it on the side, or, do whatever. But nonetheless, it does fit right in there. Also, earlier when I spoke of these two holes in the side, and I said it probably had something to do with the way they're transformed, and it looks like there's a metal rod in there. Of course, yes, that's exactly what happens right here. You've got a metal rod, and in order to make it connect, well, I don't know why they put the holes there. I mean, obviously you didn't need to, and it would be nice if there was a little red sticker you could just kind of put across there to cover up that hole, but oh well. Nonetheless, that's what's happening, and I think adding the stickers does add a certain level of pop to it, give it some extra, color. It is kind of a nice addition to the piece. The thing is, though, with all these different attachments and inserts and whatnot, when you try to fold everything back in, all these little pieces that have to come out so you can collapse it back, it's hard to find a spot to put these things away. It would be nice. I always prefer when you have a transformer if all the pieces can go in there somewhere. So, for instance, if we were to take this and, I don't know, stick it in here somewhere maybe, drop the missiles in here. There's really no place for this gun, though. This gun piece to stick. There's no place to make it, squirrel it away in there, and that means, of course, that as a kid you're always going to lose these. As an adult, yeah, I'm probably likely to lose them too, because I've got about as much responsibility in me as a 9-year-old. So Now I can't get that piece out, and this doesn't want to fold. Well, that's lovely. So I've managed to already break it, trying to get that in there. All right, we'll have to take care of that in a minute. But we do have the rest. Now, once you take that piece off the back, you have almost like a flatbed delivery truck type thing. That is kind of funky. And it almost works on its own. You know, it almost looks like a Cup from the movie. If he was, you know, powder blue, whatever, that would almost work as far as that goes. But let's take him, since he's already, you know, broken apart as a separate piece. Let's go ahead and take him and watch him transform. There he is, our sweet little buddy robot. Let's take a look here. Now, I haven't added any of the stickers yet or anything, so you can just see this is his plain body. And I do notice this big hole here, and of course, oh, what do we have with this gun thing? I was just lamenting the fact that there's no place to put him away, and then it occurs to me, when he's transformed back in the truck mode, this will fit in here. Will it fit this way? Maybe. Maybe that's a better fit. But regardless, of course, you don't want to leave it this way when he transforms, because then he's got a big silver dork hanging out there. So get rid of that. But so now he's got a giant belt buckle. He must be Texan. In robot mode, the robot mode does look really funky. And again, something to keep in mind is that because this was part of the Diaclone series, this was supposed to be a mech being piloted by a person. So you do have the chair in here where your little person, your little figure would fit. And then that way they could be piloting this robot as a giant mech. Now, when they brought him over as a transformer, they looked at this and they said, well, you know, people want to have a face or something in there. And if you look, even on the box art, if you take a look at the box, they just like airbrushed some eyes onto the windshield, and that was supposed to stand for his face. But when we actually take a look at the stickers, we do have a face sticker here. Almost looks like the Andre the Giant from the Obey street art. That sticker will actually go right there on the back of the red seat, and that is for his face when he's in robot mode. So you're supposed to pretend that he just has this little flat head back there. So we'll take a look at him in a minute with his stickers. But another part of the equation comes through here. When I opened the box, and I was talking about, here's this thing on the tab with something weird going on. When you open the other end of the box here, there's actually a head. The robot version of Ratchet, when they put him in the cartoon show, they realized he needed more of a face than just something on the back of the seat. And so, of course, they put a head on top of the windshield. So here inside, this is actually perforated so that you can pop it out very easily. And you can slide it in here to put the head. So when I put the stickers on it, and we take a look at it in a minute, we'll get a better look at that head and also the sticker that goes in there. But before we get to that point, I just want to say, you know, when you take a look at this, this is really funky looking as a robot. A lot of them, like, you know, Optimus Prime, Soundwave, even though they came from two different lines, they have a very similar robot look because of the way they transform. Whereas this one, it is just really kind of out there. The way you have these hinges for the arms, because of the way it transforms. The arm pieces themselves with this, I don't know if you ever had like an overweight elderly librarian or teacher or somebody that always had that little piece of flab on the bottom of their arms that would shake. You know, and you sit down and be quiet. And you had this little piece like flinging back and forth. That's exactly what that looks like there. And I probably just offended half of the audience. That was my mom. Sorry. And then, of course, the legs. The legs are just basically the back part of the truck, and you just fold down the tire, which means there's no waist articulation, no hip articulation, no knee articulation, and nothing really for the feet other than you have the ability to, you know, rotate them around the tire. So that's really it. as far as that goes on the robot. And of course, from the back view, it's just terrible. I mean, there's really, there's nothing going on. Now, adding the stickers may help alleviate some of the overall monotony of the look, but it really could have used something to spice it up a little more. Also, the hands are kind of weird because you rotate the hands so you have these little fingers showing on these hands, but of course there's nothing, there are no holes. He can't actually, put a weapon in his hand or anything like that, so there's nothing really to do with that as far as that piece goes. And the white part that was on the outside simply gets rotated to the bottom. So you just have these weird white patches on the back of his hand. So I think as far as the robot goes, not really that cool. But the fact that there is that other command module piece that goes with it helps to kind of redeem it a little bit. Not a whole lot. But let's go ahead and put the stickers on him so we can see how he looks when he's actually finished, the way he's supposed to look when he's presented. And then we'll also see how he plays with his command module. So, let's see. Alright, so there's Ratchet with his stickers and his fake head. Now, the sticker sheet does have an extra Autobot sticker, and you're supposed to put it right there where that symbol is. But that symbol, to me, because it comes out, the sticker's not going to fit on there very well, and it's most likely going to come off. So I'll find another spot to put that somewhere else on there, because that, to me, if that was smooth, that would be a good place to go. But you can see that the colors just add a little bit there on the legs, as far as that goes, just to give it a little splash of color from the front. But I mean, really, other than the seat, it means it's just the seat and the legs, and that's it. There's no other stickers going on there. There's nothing else that you're adding on to him, other than that logo that I didn't use. Now, the fake cartoon head, it was a piece of the cardboard box, and you can see the perforation marks there from where I popped it out. You could trim those if you wanted to, but when you put it in, it gives you that fake blue to, offset the window there, and to cover up the face on the inside, and then you've got the cartoon version of the head. Now that head they've used on toys since then, over the years. If you go out and buy a new Ratchet, if you buy Generations, I think they made a Ratchet, or whatever, then you're going to get, they're going to make them now with the head on top, and the arms that come out up there. But since it's an add-on for here, it does change the whole look of the robot, where his arms are really way far down for his head to be there. It's nice that they give you the option of having that head. It does make it look more like a quote-unquote regular Transformer to have that head up there. But really, when you take it out, this is what you're looking at. That's the face back there. You can kind of see it. It is metallic, so the lines do reflect the light, so it's a little easier to see in person than on camera, depending on how the light's hitting it going into the lens there. But it does look okay. Again, it looks like the Obey Andre the Giant face. And it does have this computer piece on the back. Looks very familiar from a lot of Transformers and whatnot. On the back piece, this was all one sticker that curves all the way around the seat and goes to the back, and it kind of helps you to anchor it on when you're putting it on there, instead of trying to do two different ones and getting them both aligned. You just basically line up one side and it flips right around and attaches on the other. So again, there's not really anything else to break up the color or do anything else with. Maybe I could take that tiny little Autobot sticker and stick it in there or something. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. But if we take our little command module here and we bring him in, he's actually designed. You can see these lines there. Oh, one other thing. I put these stickers back here. When you look on the box, it shows the stickers being back in this section, although they're supposed to be the circle at the top and then the blue goes down. But unfortunately, it doesn't fit because there's a little ridge. If you see these lines back here, that little ridge sticks down too far. and the space in between this line here, this little ridge, and this ridge coming around is smaller than the sticker is, so the sticker doesn't fit. So I turned it back this way and just took the little edge, the silver edge here at the bottom of the sticker, and wrapped it around on the back, and it just gives a little bit of color on the back there. There's nothing special there, but it works. It goes back there and just gives a little splash, and then you've got a spot for your stickers on there. So this line here, where that is actually supposed to be a guide for when you slide in his feet to help you figure out where he's supposed to stop. So he's supposed to go all the way in with his feet, slide up to that line. Oh, look, and I knocked his tank treads off. The problem is I could never quite get it to go. You have to kind of wrestle with it to get it. Now, once you get it, though, the feet, you can see, stop right here where this red part begins. That helps to hold them in place, and you get a good idea of how the overall look is supposed to be. Let me get that back on there. So now that he's attached, the idea was, of course, he'd be there'd be a pilot down here and a pilot up here, but now in Transformer mode, he's able, to sit on it and control the little guns and whatever. And the fact that he's an ambulance, you would almost think that, well, maybe this should be like medical equipment. Maybe he's supposed to use it to, scan, maybe get rid of the missile, and you say instead is a scanner, tricorder, taking their information, whatever. Nonetheless, though, I think when you put him onto the base, the fact that you've got the robot and the base, this can be used one way, this can be used one way, and then they all collapse together to make the ambulance, it's a little cooler than him just kind of by himself. And again, we can take the cartoon version of the head and put it on there. And you can see that it does make him a whole lot taller. It does look kind of ridiculous, and especially in all of this getup, it just makes him super, super tall on top of there. But nonetheless, if you want to do that, you can. I think I would probably just go ahead and display him like this. The cartoon head is nice, but that's not what this figure really is supposed to be at its core. That's really just kind of a way to make the fans of the cartoon happy. I just don't really see the need for throwing it on there, especially this one, which is supposed to look like the G1 version. Just make it look like the G1 version, and it's going to be fine, as funky as that may be. So that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go to popculturenetwork.com. Check out all the other cool stuff we have there. Podcasts, comic reviews, comic previews, toy news, and whatever that we can throw up there. Also, you can, if you want to talk to me on Twitter, you can find me. It's at PCN_dirt, and I do respond there a whole lot faster than I do, say, on the message boards or by email, anything like that. But if you do want to go to the message boards, you can go to jointheforums.com, talk to other toy fans, comic fans, video game fans, all the other people that are hanging around on there with nothing better to do. And you can also call our 24-hour voicemail line, area code 217-953-4025. You can leave a voicemail message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, up to 10 minutes in length, if you so desire. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.